how to make the universe work for you. You got to put yourself into a space and location of doing the impossible. And of course, you are impossible. You are unstoppable. You are great. There's nothing wrong with you. Understand and understand. Everything you see on the outside, looking within, was created in the inside, which deprived from the outside. So, of course, this exactly means that all the tools and all the puzzles and all the sparks, electricities is within inside of you, which means that you can use your power or lose your power. Is that simple? Is that it? And of course, we all go through ups and downs. All cars, all spaceships have experiences of service, which means you have to take care of your service. Make things up and running. 10 times out of 10, when you keep riding the car every day and doing things over and over every day, you're going to experience a whole lot of weight, a whole lot of air, a whole lot of pockets inside one area. And of course, when one area gets condensed with so much energy and so much air, things start to get a little crazy. Things start to get a little shaky. This puts you into a position of you collect too much bacteria, too much information. 10 times out of 10, you gotta release some of this information. Push some of this information out so you can clear your area and your space and location to make sure these things are free and not being a freeloader, which means that you're freeing yourself to be open to load more things on top of you, which shouldn't even ever be the case. You should always be in a situation where you need to do the art of deduction. Make sure certain things and certain scenarios don't get too heavy and too much baggage start to accumulate in your area. Gotta learn how to basically get certain things out of your 360 circle, which means it's important to always do your 360. Always spiral out of situations, circumstances, and of course, certain energies and certain vibes, which you don't want to actually feel or basically participate in. So of course, you got to be participating in the right things, the things that's going to basically bring you justification, big rings, and of course, a high magnitude of things. And you got to also put yourself into a position of being ready. Being ready is very important. Being on time is very important, because if you ain't on time and all the time that you basically wasted went towards something that's not helping or valuing you, then this can basically crush you, which means that time is very important. Feel me? And of course, time don't really mean shit when you in that internal realm. So time only really exists in the physical realm as a tool to be used, but time don't really mean shit. You have to be the person, you have to be the one that's in control to take over the time, because if you're not taking over the time, then the time is going to take over you. You remember, everything is a tool in this world that you should basically be using, no matter what the situation is. Almost to the point you wake up, that should be a tool. Now, depending on how you wake up, depending on how you can handle that minor issue, is going to basically dictate how your day will go for the rest of the day. And remember, waking up to bullshit is the worst case and scenario. Because remember, this is a frequency level. So if you putting yourself into a position, we're going to get here, because I got a little cut for me. We're going to get there. Because if you putting yourself into a space, hemisphere, where you're waking up on the wrong side of the bed, then that means you put yourself in a low vibrational state. And of course, if you're too dense and too down there, then of course, that's going to dictate a whole lot. Almost to the point where if you're having a newborn into this world, they can either be an angel or a demon. And of course, we all have our little ups and downs at times. But of course, when you come out that goddamn chakra wheel, that hole, that vajayjay, you gotta always be in the best space and location of your life. You gotta be in the best position and the best shape of your life. This is gonna be a situation where you're gonna be born out of a scenario or a frequency or a sequence where you can be in the better positioning, feel good, feel great, or this is gonna be a situation where you can get dizzy, which means you're hanging upside down. Blood from your brain is flowing, dripping. And of course, this can fuck your nose up, because the thing you are participating in is smelling the wrong shit. And if you're smelling the wrong shit, then you're going to be basically digesting the wrong shit. And when you're digesting the wrong shit, this plays out into magnitudes. Bullshit, good shit, piss, or real shit. Now, this is going to be a space where you need to basically gravitate more towards being in the energies and not trying to basically pretend to be something. Because remember, being in something means you're in that world, you're in that domain. Trying to get in there is basically having to do so much to basically get to that positioning. But of course, if you're already in a vibe, the energy, it's going to be even more easier for it to basically come into your area because you're basically going with the current. You're going with the flow. That's like pretty much putting yourself into a situation where, like, for instance, if you have to be somewhere within 20 minutes and you have a brand new car and you know that brand new car is going to get you to that area just as fast as that. But you know that your car it has some issues and some problems. Your other car have issues and problems. So 10 times out of 10, you're always going to go with the best solution and the best resolution that can basically help you to get to the situation much faster, much quicker. 10 times out of 10, if you now we ain't going to basically speak this into existence because you know you always got to believe into the impossible. But we just using an analogy right now. For instance, if your gas is on E and your other car is on full, then that means the other car that's full got a lot of fullness, a fulfilled space, which means it's already in the vibration of being filled with a frequency, a vibration, energy. Now, if you're in the space of gas tank on E, empty, then that means you're not in the energies. You're in the energies of being empty, which means you can pretty much withstand information and energy and preciseness, but it's not going to basically help you to attract what you're trying to basically attract in your life. You get what I'm saying? This is pretty much like a scenario where you're full, you're hungry, you're starving, you're passionate, you want it more than everybody else. And you're already in the energy. You're hungry for this shit. Versus being on empty, which means you need gas. You need something. You ain't the gas right now, but you need it. So that means you need something. You're not these things. Which means that it's going to take a little bit more time for you to basically get to that space, get to that location. That means you got to basically take that car there. That car might break down. The car might have situations that it may have to basically be taken care of. And it's like, damn, you got to do all this shit when you could have just basically say, you know what? I'm going to pretty much take the car that got the F in it so we can go fast and furious, come back home later on, put some gas inside the car that got the E in it so it can have the best feelings and emotions, to basically have the best energy, the best drive, the best passion to basically move around. Which means I didn't even have to basically worry about the car breaking down. I had a little bit of gas that I put right in that motherfucking ass. So, no homo. But I put some gas in that ass, and that ass is gassed up for me. And I was ready to basically go ahead and say, okay, then we can make it to the gas station. Now, basically, when I can do that, I can basically re-exchange energies, and of course put myself into an area where I can say, you know what, this shit is going to work now. This shit is basically going to get us moving and get us going. So it's going to be in a fulfilled area, in a fulfilled space. Now I can basically put my space and location into a better environment, a better gravity, where I won't have to basically be worrying or looking over my shoulders to see if I'm doing this correctly, or if I have to basically take time to basically get here, get there, and get that. Feel me? So you pretty much get the point. Feel me? Now, that is pretty much like a references that we basically use. Now I don't want to keep getting off topic, but in order for you to put yourself into a position of making the stars in the universe to work for you, 10 times out of 10, anything that's holding you back, you must allow these things to leave your space. Because if you're putting faith into something that's going to basically help you and uplift you, then that means you don't need these things. You don't rely on these things, and of course you're not allowing these things to basically control you or put you in a low vibrational frequency and energy, which means you have a lot on your plate right now. And 10 times out of 10, if you can fry bigger fish, then you put yourself into a position of you can handle it. But if you can't fry bigger fish at the moment, that means the fish you dealing with, the little fish that you're participating in right now, you can't handle that right now. You're going through the process of being able to handle it bit by bit. But if you in the space of not having that motherfucking energy, of not having that situation fulfilled and basically catered and of course maintained, then this is going to be a situation where it's going to put you into vulnerability, which means you're going to feel that you're not ready for this. You're going to feel that you're not pretty much in the better shape of your life, which means you're going to need some time to spend some time on yourself, or spend some time to basically get in the body of that situation, that circumference, that circle, that parameter. And of course, it takes time to get out of a situation depending on how long you was in it. But if you have a whole lot of strength, a whole lot of energy, and you're willing to basically put in the work to show and prove to the universe and the world that you're willing to basically put up a fight and put up the sacrifice, then of course, that's one key inference, is that they can basically start working with you. Because they see you got a lot of faith. And of course, without faith, you ain't shit. You ain't got no heart. You ain't nobody. You ain't passionate for what you're basically trying to be seen for. So, of course, if you're not passionate about what you're trying to go for, strive for, then, of course, these things is going to stifle you, put you into areas where it's going to blindfold you, and, of course, bird box you, which means that you're going to be afraid to have faith within yourself. You're going to keep basically looking up into the skies and getting possessed, which means, you had to go within and not be possessed by situations to scaffold you, and you'll be in a better predicament and better environment. But for me, it takes time too. For me, you gotta have a whole lot of time within yourself. For me, the universe can work with you if you spend more time with yourself. That's another thing too, because time is very important. Your time is important. Fuck time in general. Your time is very important, and what you do with your time counts. For me, like that's what pretty much matters. What you're doing with your time is gonna basically be the count strike. And of course, if things is not counting, if things is not tally marking, then of course your tallies is not gonna be tallying with you, partying with you, or trying to functionate with you. And of course, if you're in that situation of not allowing these things to basically help you out or build you up, then it's going to basically put you in a situation where it can put you in a conflict steam. And of course, if you're in a conflict situation, then these things can pretty much burden you. And of course, when things is burdening you, then of course it's going to basically underbridge you. And of course, when you're underbridged, that means you're not going to be able to actually move properly, which means when people go under that bridge can fall, that bridge can stifle, that bridge can move, just like how we used to play the games under the bridge, for me, when people used to go under the bridge. For me, certain bridges shouldn't even be basically getting to the needs of basically going under of. For me, you got to build your own bridge, you got to build your own tunnel, you got to have your own tunnel vision. Have your own vision. Remember, have your own vision. Because if you ain't got your own vision, the universe can't work with you. You're going to be carrying too many visions, too many ideas and concepts that may not even be yours. And this can put you in a situation of being confused, having a mixed mind. And of course, when things is mixed, the ingredients is mixed. That means your GMO, genetically modified, with an immune system that don't have a efficient area where people, places, and things can come to you to get the right gas. Which means you're selling them the wrong gas. You selling them some fake ass weed. And of course, they can't get high with your shit because your shit is not really predicated towards powering them. And of course, it's on the market. But your shit is fugazi. Of course, your shit is fugazi, then you fufu. So basically, you're going to be fufu soup. And you're going to get ate up out here because what's going to happen is you're going to lose hope in yourself. And of course, you're going to allow yourself to get eaten up. Remember, if you ain't feeding yourself the right food to make you feel good and happy, then that means you're eating at somebody else's table and watching them. And of course, you shouldn't be eating at nobody else's table watching what the fuck they got going on. You need to focus and look into the motherfucking mirror and see what's on your table. You know what I mean? Worship and praise your table. Stop fucking putting yourself into situations of jumping on somebody else's table or trying to eat at somebody else's table. That's like basically begging for somebody attention or need, or basically trying to do some wickedness to basically get people to basically see how you're trying to come. And of course, you don't want to basically be doing that shit. For me, the only way you want to see how shit coming is when you inside that girl body, which is in her womb, and making sure that she's coming and for the right reasons, not for no lustful ass reasons. So of course, to make the universe work for you, you gotta program that motherfucking universe. You gotta talk to that bitch. For me, and of course, this is how you think and how you feel and how you interact with the way you are emotionally passionate towards things. And if you're not passionate about nothing or anything, then who is gonna work with you? Not your kids, nobody, and no thing. For me, you're just gonna be an individual that nobody want to be around with. And because you don't love yourself, for me, and you putting that picture and idea in the world, and of course, that's how other people is going to see you. Remember, the aura you carry within you is basically being reflected out. And of course, certain aura fields only going to basically be in a miserable loves company scenario. And of course, you don't want that position. So get yourself right. And that's how the universe works with you.